Welcome everybody, my name is MrLlamaSC, and today I'm going to be casting with QuanticLaughingMan, and we are casting EGSuppy, the red Zerg spawning down in the bottom right hand corner, and he is going to be going up against Complexity's Minigun, the blue Protoss, who is going to be in the top left hand corner of Ohana, and who is already calling out Imba, 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 which I'm assuming he's yelling at the Zerg race in general.
Well, Zerg, man, they're pretty broken, what can I say?
This is, QuanticLaughingMan is a Protoss and I am a Zerg player, so you can, although we have no bias as casters, you can assume that we are going to slightly be picking sides.
Yeah, man, I just love the two-base Immortal Sentry all in. That's why we kill you before you get to that Brutal Infester unfortunate mix. But anyway, guys, with me and Llama are just kind of casting some games together because, well, you know what? We just have to. We've been casting for probably quite a while between us, I think. We've known each other for quite a while, and we just thought, let's cross casting swords again and hopefully make some magic happen, I guess.
Exactly. I mean, when did we actually start casting? I believe it was, I want to say back in like March or April, something like that together. And
Yeah,
it was awesome. No, I just loved casting with them.
The Honor Cup, I believe, actually.
It was the Honor Cup, which is a great tournament, by the way, so people should still go check it out if it's running. Is it still running at this time?
I don't know. I think his name is Creamy Turtle, though. That guy was a decent guy.
He was a cool guy. So it looks like Suppy going to be taking a 15 pool right here, and our player Minigun looking to be going for that Nexus first. Already has the pylon down for the wall in, and look at this. He actually puts the pylon in the wall, so interesting choice, especially on this map, because you can actually get the full wall in with just 3 big structures. So I'm not sure why adding that weak pylon is really a good idea.
Yeah, interesting. And also it goes for a 17 Nexus. That's usually, I mean, as a Protoss player, I know for a fact that I usually try and get mine down on 15 because you got more of a strength against 15 pools, 14 pools as well, just in case they're just running straight to your base. You actually have to cut some things, but with 15 Nexus, you don't really actually have to. But again, he's actually going for the pylon block because it's really interesting. So he's actually might delay his forge by a little bit, but again, I think at this level, I think Minigun won't let anything weird happen kind of there anyway.
Yeah, so I mean the good thing is, number one, Suppy's taking care of this pylon by having a drone there to keep a scout of it, of course, so he can kind of look around, see, oh, if there's any cannons going down, can I send some drones out? And here, of course, he's asking, oh, are you going to MLG Dallas? That's what that is for, and unfortunately Minigun is not. But yeah, so he's going to be able to clean this up, but the delay is nice because now Minigun has his Nexus down first, and look at how much further down his Nexus is going to be versus Suppy's expansion.
And just a bit of a talk about Minigun right here. Unfortunately, he's been through. I mean, I talked to him the other day, and he sounds really kind of down. He doesn't think he's really good enough, which is really surprising because he's like literally always in the top 16 of the North American ladder.
Right.
And he's just so solid. I just think that he's kind of demotivated. But you know what? I really, really hope that he kind of goes far whenever he enters that next tournament.
Yeah, no, so do I. And I mean, I don't have as personal of a connection as I suppose you do with Minigun there. I'm not able to talk to him. And poor little probe looks like he got locked out of his base right here with the most interesting wall-in I've ever seen from a Protoss player, to be honest. But I do wish him well. And I do love the little rivalry that he had with Idra a while ago. That was always so fun to watch him and Idra talk trash.
I have a feeling Idra always loses to DTs, I've noticed.
Yeah.
And he really has to start looking for that, I think.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. I mean, DTs against a Zerg player are just so deadly, especially if you just get later on into the game, because you're just not expecting it. You're sitting there and you're like dealing with the main army and you're microing everything around, and then all of a sudden it's like your base is under attack, and it's like 7 red blinking arrows, and you go look back, you have no overseers, you have no spore callers, and all your hatcheries are gone. And you're like, well, this was a fun game. Like, I threw that one away. So, I mean, I've seen them catch so many players off guard, and maybe we'll see Minigun grab some DTs later on. Though right now it looks like he's just going for that +1, getting out a sentry, grabbing his 3rd and 4th gas. Possible Immortal Sentry all in?
Possible, yeah, but I think the gas time is a little bit too late for that. Usually when you get them around 38, he's around 44. So this
Very
indicates
true.
maybe more of maybe a Stargate play, but hell no, he's going Robo just to prove me wrong. And but yeah, it's actually I mean, it could be just a mortal expand. That's
Right.
always something relatively really strong as well. Because on this base, the third base is really easy to hold. Just chuck some gateways down at that giant choke, and to be honest, it's pretty easy to hold.
Yeah, and I played against a GM Protoss player before on this map, and he took like a 7-minute third, and he told me he was going to take a 7-minute third. We were like, all right, he's like, I want to practice. I'm going to take a 7-minute third versus you, and I want you to try and kill me. And so I like specifically tried to engage him versus the 7-minute third, and he just blocked it in with gateways and a couple cannons behind, and I had no chance whatsoever. And I was like, wow. So yeah, it's definitely an easy map to get that third on, and you might be right that he's just going to go for some sort of
He was
just
timing.
expand off of this because he is only at 4 gateways right now. Because I was typing, he is only at 4 gateways, so we'll see if he does add down additional gates or if he's just going to start adding stuff for the expansion. There we can see he's already throwing a pylon down.
And interesting, he's actually creativing out his warp gate as well. So obviously he's getting 4 gates right there, so we might put in a little bit of pressure.
Right.
But again, he doesn't really have a pylon on the map though, so maybe.
there's the
Oh
third
my god,
base.
this actually might be a fake. This is perfect. We see that Suppy has an overlord in the base, but he's taking his third. But again, Suppy actually has an overlord, and he actually does see the third Nexus going out. So this might be either to put on some pressure, or maybe just to kind of stay alive as well. But again, here comes 7 Zerglings running in to try and ruin this probe's day, but he's not having a good day.
No, it does not look like he is, but only 6 or 7 slowlings, not going to be able to do too much right there. The Zealots will force it away, and it looks like Minigun going to get a free third, while Suppy says, you know what, I'll play your macro game. I'll go ahead and grab a 4th behind this. Behind this.
And again, he's going Mutalisk, man. Spire being dropped down. That's pretty scary, especially in this map. You have to split perfectly your army. As a Protoss player, this is the most frustrating thing.
Yeah.
You got no idea. And wow, actually, I noticed something. Look at Minigun's third man. He's actually oversaturated by quite a large margin. Like, there's a lot of probes there. That's not really characteristic of Minigun, but I think he will actually. He probably will fix this as soon as the third beast finishes anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, he definitely was just oversaturating on these probes, I would imagine, so that he could just save them up for a nice little transfer over and just have a saturated third immediately, which is really good to do. And that's kind of why I kind of abandoned my thought of the Immortal Sentry all in, because he kept the probe production up, and so it didn't look like he was going for a cut. But grabbing those gas really quickly, and I was wondering why Suppy had grabbed so much gas early. I was like, wow, at 8 minutes, he's already on 6 extractors. Well, now we know why, because he's got this Spire coming up. He's got enough for about 11 mutas right there, you know, with the minerals, of course, catching up very quickly. So he'll be able to pump out a lot of mutas here pretty quickly. And, of course, as you were saying before, that is so annoying to deal with, because you do have to split your army just perfectly.
Yeah, well, he's got a lot of sentries and mortals in here, but he's also got a cannon defending, which I like, actually. I mean, how many cannons do you think he should have to kind of defend him against these mutas? But I guess it kind of depends on how much the Zerg player kind of commits to those mutas as well. Do you reckon he'll get probably like 12 to 16 and maybe just go, all right, I'll step back. Like, he's going Infestation Pit as well, so maybe this is just like a mid-game composition he wants to get before he goes to that later tech Hive and Broodlord composition as well.
Right, so Mutalisk can be great for that. One, they can force your opponent to just stay in its base, which is exactly what you want to do as a Zerg player, because you do have that strong late game army, and so you can just hit later, right? You can come in with the mutas, you can just harass here and there, force him back and forth with his stalkers, and here, as you can see, that's exactly what Suppy's doing. There's no more mutas on the way. He's teching to Hive. He's getting pathogen glands. He just wants to drone up a little bit more, wants to be able to just say, okay, you know what, you stay back in your base for a little while longer. I'll get the Hive tech, I'll get the Broodlords out, I'll get the Infestors out, and then we'll see who's going to have the fun with the late game army.
But I've noticed that there's the Great Wall of Spine Crawls being constructed there.
Yep.
That should be pretty interesting. I mean, I like this position because like you actually have to commit really heavily if you want to even get anywhere near there. While this is happening, 7 Festers are popping out as well with pathogen glands. This is actually perfect. They're going to line up pretty much perfectly. And as well as another push is actually coming in at the third base of the Protoss. He's actually taking 1 cannon down. But there's actually the army is actually out of position. He actually moved out. But how much damage is he actually going to try and focus this third down? Will he actually get it? It's going to be actually probably not.
Yeah, I think he will
as
actually
well.
with all of the mutas and links. No, he actually loses so many of those links. He has not been committed enough with these mutas. Will he get it?
Oh my
or
god,
was
it's going down
this
17
such
health,
a
8 health,
waste?
but he actually does get it.
Oh my
All
god.
the mutalisks are dead.
Wow. That had to be insanely close. That was one of those where it would be left at 1 HP or it would be dead. And Minigun says, oh man, that's no fun. And now we see Minigun though saying, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go for a counter. I just killed a ton off, but he needs to be careful. There's the great wall, as you said, of spine crawlers yet again over at the natural. And he has all these infestors, all these zerglings, and I'm not liking this position right here for Minigun.
Oh, I know. I mean, the fungal's going to locking him down, but oh, he actually gets out of that as well. Pretty nice. But do you reckon he's going to hold it before? Like, I mean, he's just got so much stuff, but will this spine crawler will hold?
Yes, and I mean, this right here is going to force Minigun back. There's no way he can engage into this. And here we see that Minigun's just going to fall back. He would lose way too much going in there. He would risk getting caught by all these fungal growths, plus all of the reinforcing units. Were Suppy making a lot more lings to reinforce right there, they would have just absolutely swarmed his army. And here we see Suppy right there even trying to just head back and swarm Minigun's army as he heads home.
Actually, while this is actually happening, I know something really cool. Look at the upgrade timings. 2-2 hasn't finished yet, but he's nearly at 3-3. He was like pretty much nearly halfway. That's a lot of Chronovis going in there.
Yeah.
So what he can... Oh, and actually the fourth has been... for the Protoss has actually been assaulted right here while I've been talking. But back to that point that he's got a really good upgrade timing. So he could actually go, all right, I'm going to stay back, get my mothership, have 3-3, and then push out maybe and have this hit this really strong timing. And I really like it.
Yeah, the only issue that I'm seeing right now is his lack of Colossus. And we can see that he's adding this robotic space. That's going to be good. And he does have a couple High Templar in there to possibly more some Archons. But really, against all of these spine crawlers laying down right here, he just... I want to see in all of these lings, I really wish to see some Colossus in that army mix just to kind of pick that off. And it doesn't have to be a lot, but it would have been really helpful in the just slightly previous time. To make a push. But now he's, of course, going to have to drop back. He's going to start getting out some Colossus, and it's just going to be, you know, a late game hit, but he will have the 3-3 to the 2-2 of his opponent, so that could definitely be a factor in this battle.
And oh my god, actually, Suppy actually has some changes in his army, and Minigun doesn't notice. That's actually the biggest deal. While the 5th base has been taken by Suppy as well, and one other thing is, I'm not sure if you really noticed, but he actually went double Robo Colossus, and there's actually Colossus walking across the field. And oh my god, he's actually going to get it. And unfortunately, the Colossus does actually get sniped. While there's actually lings in the main, he wants to try and target this the natural. He was going to hurt the gas production so much if he gets this. But nah, I think there's not enough lings here. The Colossus cleans this all up, and he wants to put guys back in gas immediately. They're back in gas, but... Yep. Again, like, what does he have? Like, what does the Zerg player, what can he really do at this position? He's just going to build the death ball and kind of push, and or what?
That's exactly it. I mean, that's what he's been building for this entire game. That's what he started with the Mutalisk play, with the Ling run-bys. You saw right there when Minigun made that push out, he would have been able to do a very decent amount of damage. But instead, Suppy came with the Mutas and came with the Ling, sniped off his 3rd base, and just put Minigun in a terrible position. And now Minigun's stuck where he can't really go engage that 5th, because if he goes over there, he gets trapped in against this army, and he's really in a tricky situation. He doesn't have his mothership out either, and here we're going to have a huge engagement.
Nice blink. And actually, look at all the Brutals are really low. But again, look at there's so many infested Terrans being chucked over all the army. I think this is just a really bad position for Minigun here. The Fungos lock everything down, and he can't move. It took about 3 Brutalords, but unfortunately, it was not cost efficient at all.
Yeah,
for Minigun there.
The blink forward was great. He got some decent storms off, but the problem was he wasn't focus firing those Broodlords, and so they all just remained with that low health right there. Had he focus fired, he could have picked a lot off. He still probably wouldn't have won that engagement, but it would have put him in a much better position. Instead, now his force is going to get rained down upon by all these Broodlords.
He wants to try and max out and go for it again, but there's just so many infestors there. I'm not really sure. And there we go. Like, he's being locked down. He can't blink. Like, this is so frustrating as a Protoss player. And look at all those infested Terrans being locked down. And unfortunately, I think this might be a game over. If you lose that 4th base, you just cannot contest with the Zerg's kind of powerhouse of all their infested Terrans and Broodlords and infestors. It's really unfortunate.
I don't know. He's still in it. I mean, I do like the Ling run bys right here. And look at this. The natural of Minigun is going to drop right here to some Lings. So 2 bases, it looks like, possibly going to go down. No, a blink forward, though, from some Blink Stalkers. Will they be able to pick off these Broodlords here at the 4th base? They're focusing them down one at a time. Here come the Ling reinforcements. Will all the Broodlords go down, though? Yes, another blink under. Another one goes down, and the final Broodlord does go down. So it looks like Minigun going to be able to actually save his 3rd base, possibly. I don't know. It's going to be extremely close. Nice force fields do block out some Lings. And yeah, so Minigun still going to survive with that 4th base, but unfortunately he did lose that natural, so going to lose the gas production and the last few minerals over there. So a little smart move right there by Minigun, but he is definitely not out of it. Look at the supplies, 135 to 178. I do not know where Suppy is putting all of his resources right now.
And I think Minigun might be some sort of like StarCraft wizard at playing, because like I don't know how he held that. He's already lost 2 bases, and he's kind of like okay. That's really crazy. And the infestors getting picked off for that blink. He's taken 4 infestors, 5, nearly getting 6, and he's done so much right there. He's already taken so many infestors, and he doesn't have enough for fungals. He's burned all the fungals, and what can you really do at this point? Like he's taking out the 5th base, but I guess it's not really over. But that's valuable gas he doesn't have, and he's picked off the base and he's running back. And again, here comes the Ling run buyers, but the Mothership Cloak, he can't actually really engage right there.
Yeah,
and he's actually taken, wow, and it looks, oh no, and 2 Colossi is going to get picked off right here. It's not what he wants to happen. And wow, he's chucked away a lot of Lings. I've noticed a bit of missed rallies before.
Yes, I mean, Suppy's been a little sloppy, I suppose you could say, with kind of his rallies and stuff. Lings run all over the place, trying to pick off a little Colossus here, some Templar there, but he's really losing a lot, and I mean, he just doesn't have the resources right now. And look at this, 3-3 finally finishes up for Suppy. So that's going to be huge, and that was a big factor in why Minigun was able to win that battle at the 4th, was the upgrade advantage was simply in his favor.
And wow, I'm not sure if you really caught that, but he actually killed all his sentries in his army. That was so good.
You killed Secret Agent.
Suppy, obviously a comedian. And wow, I like that blink forward, taking out so many Zerglings. He's only on his 160 supply, and I just realized the supply at the resource count, he's actually broke.
Yeah.
Wow, this actually might get, if Minion wins this, man, I don't even know how. He wants to just keep counter-attacking, keep it in his base, and oh my god, there's actually a giant hole in the wall at the natural.
Is there a hole? Oh, there is a hole right there. It doesn't look like Suppy's going for that. Instead, he's going to be heading over here to this 4th base. Wants to get in the mineral line over there. Instead, he's actually just going to focus the Nexus. Look how fast that Nexus is falling. Wow.
3 through the adrenal glands is so good. And again, he takes out the 5th base for the Zerg. So it's a base for a base, but again, he's hurt the gas income of the Zerg. I'm not really sure he's ahead here. This is incredibly close.
Yeah, I mean, this game right now could go either way. Suppy's still so low on supply, but you have to remember he has that huge Spinecrawler wall. He's got the Broodlord Infestor army behind it, so we cannot see Minigun engage into this yet. And I think Suppy's completely fine with that. He says, you know what, I'll continue making Corruptors, continue making Broodlords, and I'm just going to mass up a giant army here and see how you deal with it.
And at this point, like, Minigun's 5th actually did get denied right there. Some Lings just kind of denied it, but you know what? Like he got it back up there. He went over and killed it. And again, there's some more Changelings in the army. It's so frustrating to deal with. Like when you're like, oh, I need to like kind of click and just try and focus fire them down. But at this point, how many Broodlords are there? Like there are wow, 14. Wow. So again, he's got kind of the next army. But again, look at the bank for both players.
Yep, and it looks like possibly going to be a little engagement. No, one Broodlord going to get picked off right there. So that's not what Suppy wants. And is he going to be losing his 5th base again? He's trying to establish it. Does not look like he's going to get it up. But look how many Broodlords out there. They are just going to be such a hassle to deal with. And that Mothership is going to need some really great... oh, here's what it was. He's going to need some great Vortex. Look at Neural Parasite right there. And going to be splitting those up, of course, but Neural Parasite was being researched. That's why Suppy was waiting right there. Looks like one Vortex is going to go down. Not much going to be dropped into that, and Suppy able to avoid really having too much thrown into the Vortex right there. He's still got a ton of Infestors. He gets nice fungal growth right there on a lot of the army, and here we're going to see everything come out. Some storms will be going down, but it looks like the Broodlords are just going to be raining down terror all over this army of minigun. He's going to be warping in to reinforce behind, but I don't see anything to counteract all of these Broodlords right here, and minigun is not looking in a great position.
Oh, this is actually such a crazy game, but again, the vortexes weren't really good enough. He caught a couple in there, but he didn't have enough Archons. I think he had about 2 Archons in that vortex, maybe even 1. Like, it's going to be so close. He's only got Stalkers right now, and these Infestors are going to lock them down. I mean, they've only got about 3 Fungal Growths in that army, but there's so many Broodlords. Like, he needs to... There we go. And here comes the giant Archon Warp in, but it's going to be all about positioning in this fight. And the Mothership is coming out, but again, it's like a minute away.
Yeah. Oh, more than a minute away. He's still got, what, 130 seconds on that, so he's got 2 minutes for that.
Wow,
in the meantime, he's going to be losing his 4th base. He does get a nice blink under, though, so will he be able to take out all these Broodlords? That would be a huge turnaround right here for Suppy, and it is going to be close.
Wow, actually, the health is going down. There's actually about 5 left. There's 4 at 3. There's 4 left right here, and this is so close. But again, Minigun's got so many minerals. He can kind of remax some Zealots if he kind of wants to. And oh my god, all the Archons actually alive! He actually killed that army.
That was such a favorable trade right there for Suppy. And once again, look at the supply right here. And it looks like some Ling's going to be heading over to this 5th base. And Minigun's definitely going to want to protect this. Here he's going to be warping in some more units. That's going to be his key right there, I'd say, is keeping that 4th. And if he can really get that 5th established, because Suppy is just hurting for money so badly. Look at his income, 540 minerals a minute. I'm not sure it might be enough right there. And here we're going to have a retreat of all these spine crawlers. And
of course, they have to walk away. They have to waddle away from all the Archons, kind of killing all their families. But oh my god, this... And here we go, we actually got a big counterattack. Ling's up at the 5th base for Minigun, but just such good positioning. Like he keeps retreating his Archons into that cannons, and he can't do anything. And
yeah.
I actually can't. This game has been so close. Like, I usually don't really like PvZs, but this is something else, man. This is so high level.
Yeah, and I thought for sure that we would see Suppy after he just annihilated that army of miniguns right there. I thought for sure we'd see him in a great position, but he just wasn't able to really do anything. And Suppy is going to leave the game with a little bit of anger right there. Unfortunately for him, he had nothing to support his Broodlords. So GG. That's going to be it.
That was crazy. That was a really good game. So,
that was.
GG from Suppy. That was a very good exit. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on.
Of course.
I guess the next replay will probably be on my channel, youtube.com/lm699. Thank you again for having me, and I guess I will see you in the next episode.
All right, so that's going to be it for my channel, everybody. My name is MrLlamaSC. I hope you guys enjoyed this cast, and I will see you guys next time.